How does one go from being a regular priest to being called to do exorcisms?
What happened was I had this phone call one day from the Vicar General of the diocese, and he said, oh, Steve, he said, the bishop wants you to be the exorcist. I said, what? What?
That's a big job. That's like a huge job.
Yes, it is. It is. Now, funnily enough, I already had this book, The Official Rite of Exorcism. I already had it because I like old books, and it's in Latin, and I like Latin. So, you know, and I hadn't read the exorcism prayers specifically, but there's a lot of other stuff in here too. There's lots of prayers, blessings of this, blessings of that.
And you've read that book in its entirety?
Well, mostly.
Okay.
Mostly. I wouldn't say read it, but use the prayers.
Okay,
it's full of prayers. It's called the Rituale Romanum, the Roman ritual. This is about 150 years old, this particular copy, this book. And I have got some older ones than that too. So it turned out, so I said to him, I said, I got to speak to my spiritual director about this. So he said, okay. He said, can you give me a response in a week? I said, well, that's quick. He said, oh, a week. So I said, okay. So I called my spiritual director up, and he's a good guy. I've known him for years. And he said, okay, 3 things to think about. How does your mind think about this? How does your heart think about this? How does your stomach think about this? So I sat down and I spent 3 or 4 days praying about it, and my head was saying, you know, you can do this. And this came out later on. One of the reasons they asked me was because they know I know Latin.
Oh, okay.
They know that. They knew that. And my mind was saying, you know, you can do this. It's not impossible. My heart was saying, I know people who are suffering and I want to help them in whatever way I can. And my stomach was saying, this is not making me sick. This is, you know, the spiritual stress is not making me sick. Because that's what he meant by, what does your stomach say? You know, are you beginning to stress about this? And it wasn't. So I called him back and I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So, okay, good, that's fine. There's training in Chicago beginning next year, and we'd like to sign you up for it. Can you go? So I said, okay. It's a training program run by the Pope Leo XIII Institute, which is an institute of the United States Catholic Conference of Bishops. It's organized by them, run by them, approved by them. And it takes place at Mundelein Seminary in Chicago. And it's 4 10-day sessions spread over 2 years.
4 10-day sessions. That's
total 40 days.
Yeah, that's
total
a long time,
40 days. And I attended them all, and it was, you know, I learned a lot, I understood a lot. There were exorcists who came and gave us talks from all over the world, from the Philippines. Some of the biggest exorcism ministry goes on in the Philippines at the moment. From Spain, from Father Rippinger was there at one of the sessions and taught us, and others as well.